Hello again. I'm Keith Soanes. I'm with Accepted Utility Strategies. I often get asked, Keith, which is better, overhead or underground? As it turns out, the decision is not always easy, but the choice is yours. Let's find out why. For overhead distribution lines, they are generally cheaper, quite a bit cheaper, than their corresponding distribution cousins. It takes more money to dig the earth up. The cabling and the transformers tend to be more expensive. So generally speaking, if you're looking at what the overall project cost is going to be, it's going to be more expensive to put underground in place. Now, if your primary consideration is weather resiliency, for example, if you live on the South Florida coast or the Gulf Coast, northern Canada, where you're going to be subjecting the power systems to heavy storms, ice, wind, driving rain, then you do have to start thinking about what are going to be the impacts on the system. There's no question that when it comes to these really hard weather situations, underground is in the vast majority of times going to be your friend. You're going to spend a lot more time pulling wire off the ground and replacing broken poles in those situations. So give the check mark to underground. Now, when the power does go out, i.e., let's say a tree comes down and breaks the wire here, or a cable faults underground somewhere in this system, how long does it take to repair and get the power back on? Well, that's a good question. If you think of a tree coming down in this, one of the advantages is if you look through it through the eyes of the crew that's responding, you can see the damage. I can see a tree where the wire is broken. Whereas in the underground system, if a cable faults or breaks, fails, it's more difficult to see. It can take quite some time. And think about it, if it's under a sidewalk, or you simply don't know exactly where the break is going to be, it can take a long time to find it. Then you have to excavate it. It takes more time to repair it. So if you're thinking about response time when there is a fault, give the check mark to overhead. How long do these things last? 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years? Once again, rule of thumb, distribution is going to last twice as long as underground. Why is that? Well, as soon as you put these cables on the ground, it's a chemical soup. You've got acidic soils, you've got pollution, water, competing metals in the cable itself. So it's more challenging to actually keep that running for a length of time. Bare wire in the air, it lasts, generally speaking, a long time. So that's why you're going to get more lifespan, generally speaking, out of an overhead system than underground. Now, another consideration, and it's really important for some people, is what does it look like? Now, if you're the accountant saying, I don't really care, I'm interested in money, the answer is easy on that count. But you have to take into consideration that these are in the neighborhood, they're in the community. If you're in an urban downtown core that's attracting tourists, or it's upscale modern, if you're in a very nice neighborhood with new housing, you might not want to have a situation like this where people are looking at what they refer to as the ugly poles and wires. Now, if you're me, you think they're pretty, but that's not everybody. Underground hides it, puts it away, puts it underground where you can't see it. So from an aesthetic perspective, you have to give the check mark to underground. Which is better? I hate to say it, but it depends. Depends on what you want most. I'm Keith, and if you find this interesting and you'd like to learn more, please get in touch with me. Accepted Utility Strategies, here to help.